So I've been working in lead and healthy homes for over 20 years, and I can tell you that there's one thing that separates an okay program from a really successful program. And as a starting point, all of these grantees were chosen because they have incredible capacity and characteristics reflective of programs that are going to produce outcomes. But the thing that separates all of you from all the other programs is really the heart and soul you bring to your jobs. And we all know that heart and soul that you bring to your jobs is also the heart and soul that your families that you serve feel about their homes. So what we're going to do is we're going to call one grantee up at a time. We're going to do it alphabetically. We're going to start with Alameda. We're going to have each member of the team introduce themselves, and then somebody from the team is going to explain what the object symbolizes in terms of the best work of the program or what they hope to achieve going forward.
Okay, good evening and welcome to the Bay Area. We're sort of the hosts here too. And well, I'm Maricela Narvaez Foster, and I'm the director for the Alameda County Lead Department.
I'm Mark Allen. I'm ASHE Project Director.
I'm Dennis Jordan. I'm the project manager.
I'm Lindsay Brown, and I work for the Kresge Grant, running the Standard of Practice Committee.
So Lindsay is going to talk about our object.
As an object that represents our organization and where we are now and where we hope to be, we collectively chose a bonsai tree. And for me, the bonsai, to me, it represents a strong base, and with careful cultivation and purposeful intent can really grow in new directions into something beautiful.
So for me, it represents energy from the surroundings, and also it's a way that we contribute to it, and also a way that we collaborate, and it's a way we continue to just harmonize. So it's about the work we do about harmonizing not only with ourselves but with our community and with the people we serve, and then with our stakeholders and with you.
For me, the bonsai represents new growth. It provides shape. It's something that grows every year. It's always changing, but it needs direction, and that's what's been a key portion to our success as a program.
And it needs constant maintenance. And I think that it's strong at the base. And I think that that's what we strive for in Alameda County, to be strong at the base, and that's our relationship with our community and service to that community.
Thank you.
We don't always follow the rules, so we brought more than one object because we can, right? My name is Rachel. I'm the Healthy Homes Manager.
Hi, Mary Sue Schottenfels, the director. And
hi, I'm Mary Morrow. I'm with the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office.
and we have one member floating in the air somewhere trying to get here. She left Detroit at 8, and she's still not here. And actually, we have 2 colleagues from Michigan that are still floating somewhere out there. Hopefully, you'll meet them tomorrow. So yes, I can't follow rules. Rachel kept saying one object, but we brought several. But they represent all in a piece what is so important about our work. So the first thing is something Rachel's going to show you.
So ultimately, we're about children and families, right? And one thing that children love is Elmo. So, and also, we would have loved to bring the Elmo head, but sadly, it's hard to check that on the plane. We're flexible. We're all flexible. We're adaptable. We're grantees. So we brought the one that's conveniently shaped like like Michigan. So. So we are right here. This is right. And this is, I can see it. So this is my, yeah. All right, so this is Detroit. Our friends in Lansing are about here-ish. So yeah, so this is Detroit, and this is for the children, right?
Right, and so you guys all know the Sesame Street tape, And we use that very often when we do Head Start presentations, and then we have the kids march around in a little picket line doing these signs. So I think we brought this because, you know, we can't forget, and sometimes in the busyness and the craziness, we can tend to forget that it's really about the kids. And whether it's, I mean, we just had an article saying lead in Detroit went down by 70%, but you know what? That's 30%. That's great. But we've got a long way to go in all our cities. So this is for the kids. And then, sorry, this is for our partners, because really we're only as strong as our partners, and really the Healthy Homes model has pushed us to learn that. So this is a boarding project that we have with one of our best partners, which is Wayne State here. And we are boarding up houses together. I don't even know if you've seen this, so it's got your logo. And in the Healthy Homes area, there are just tremendous numbers of abandoned houses. So we're going to board some up together. And so this represents partnerships.
I'm Beth McKee-Huger, the director of Greensboro Housing Coalition.
Michelle Kennedy, I'm the grants manager for the Greensboro Housing Coalition.
Brett Byerly, Healthy Home Specialist at the Housing Coalition.
Marisha McGinnis, part of the Healthy Homes team.
Jana Hershkowski, Healthy Homes Case Manager.
I'm Nancy Vaughn, and I serve on the Greensboro City Council.
And what we have really been working on a lot is engaging the whole community in healthy homes and raising awareness and showing people that there's something that they can do to get involved. So we brought out one of the DVDs of the video documentaries. For the last 9 years, we've done Healthy Homes bus tours with a professional video documentary maker making this video, and we've got a little over 1,000 people now who have said that they support effective code enforcement, and some of them are wearing these beautiful new T-shirts. A healthy housing equals a healthy Greensboro.
Really bad model.
Put it on, turn around. You know. Anyway. All right. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I'm Cara Eastman. I'm the president and CEO of Omaha Healthy Kids Alliance, and we are elated to be here. This is such a fabulous site. Thank you for having us.
Hi, I'm Cher Duna. I'm the assistant director and grant manager.
Nicole Caputo, Omaha Healthy Kids Alliance. Obviously, I'm just used to saying that. One-touch coordinator with the organization.
Hi, I'm Brenda Council. I'm a former state senator and a member of the board of Omaha Healthy Kids Alliance.
Ellen Tone, I'm an advisor to the program.
And last but not least.
Maybe least. Mark Peterson, and I'm the board chair of the entity.
So our object, basically, for those of us who have been working in lead poisoning prevention for a little bit, and those of you who have been working in lead poisoning prevention for a long time and now in healthy homes, we are tired of using children to determine how our housing stock is affecting us. And so we have a baby in a cage as to represent the canary in the coal mine that we use children as to detect lead poisoning. So for those of us who have been doing this work and who do it every day, we find this symbol to be very, very powerful. And actually, a good friend and activist gave this to us a few years ago. For those of us who don't live and breathe this every day, but maybe do this as a side thing, they are slightly embarrassed and appalled by such an object. Exactly. But nonetheless, maybe a powerful object and representative of why we do this work. Thank you.
My name is Nancy Halpern Ibrahim from Esperanza Community Housing from South Central LA. Happy to be here.
Jim Manja, St. John's Well Child and Family Center, South Central.
Paulina Gonzalez, SAGE, Strategic Actions for a Just Economy.
Lisa Hubbard, St. John's.
Regina Clemente, St. John's.
So our main totemic object is actually in the baggage somewhere, but we had a little en route improvisation, and here it is. You can hold this. You can hold this one.
We had a peak flow meter, but it's in the.
And we'll hold these together on top. You can move yours toward Paulina. Yeah, there we go. So this ideally would have been mounted, but not today. This is actually from the card of one of our People's Planning's hearings. And one of the reasons why we put it into 3 pieces is that we have a model that we've been working on for the last 14 plus years that really looks at both the provision of quality, unusually expensive medical care for folks, referrals to Promotoras de Salud, which is where Esperanza comes in, and also referrals to SAGE for tenant rights and interventions, and the policy work that we do to try to make our city and county agencies work in better coordination for improved public health.
Yeah, I think one of the results of our work, which we were going to write on the back, but again, our plane was 2.5 hours late, and it was a nightmare from the minute we got to the airport till the minute we just arrived. Yeah, this is great. And what we were able to do was pass legislation called SB 460, which required that all construction and renovation abide by lead-safe practices in the state of California.
There have been people who have been in this field for so much longer than I or Kresge has been that we owe the honor and the debt to. And I remember when we started out in this work, we invited Mary Jean Brown, who has been a champion at CDC, and I just want to acknowledge her work. As well as the National Center for Healthy Housing and Rebecca. People have been coming up to me and thanking me for this for this event, and I said, well, it's really Pam and Tamara who made sure that we came to a place that wouldn't have too many distractions. We really focused on the work at hand. There's a reason that monasteries have located in places like this, so you can really focus on the important things. The last time meaning Kresge was here, the big debate was whether we should have meetings inside or outside. So I'll leave it up to you as to how we decide that particular question, because believe me, it will become an important one. But I was. Pam has got me on this agenda several times to do introductions and stuff like that, and I really don't have that much material. So I hope that this becomes just simply my welcome and expression of appreciation for you making the trip to be here, because I know that this is an extraordinary, I think, contribution of your time to be able to come here and to spend this time with us. But I think it will be time well spent. The agenda, I think, is really packed, and I think it really augurs for a great beginning to our learning together, because I see this as really an opportunity to begin a journey and to know the other people on this journey together around healthy housing. And as you all know, it's beyond just the practice of it, but looking at all the implications of what we can do to really expand this, beyond fixing houses, because it's more than that. It's really about how we think about housing in this country. you know, it occurred to, I made this weird connection. So how many people have actually seen Searching for Sugar Man? Yay! Okay. Okay. If you're from Detroit, you absolutely have to have seen this. But so for those of you who haven't seen this, you know, and you probably should know that it won the Academy Award for Best Documentary. So what's the story? Well, so there's this rocker back in the 80s. 60s.
60.
Who went by the name Rodriguez, you know, and he cut a few albums which had sort of modest success, and then he kind of disappeared. He's from Detroit, and you know, for all intents and purposes, in terms of the American music industry, he just disappeared. He was one of those like one-hit wonders, and you know, that was it. But the story actually kind of begins when you watch the movie in South Africa. And I'm watching this movie, and I've actually been to South Africa, so I don't know how many of you have been there. And I'm watching this, and I said, well, you know, it starts in Cape Town, and if you've ever been there, it's wonderful, but it kind of looks like Malibu. But the car that's driving down this road is obviously on the wrong side of the road. And I said, that's not California. It must be. It's got to be South Africa. And sure enough, it was. So what does South Africa have to do with it? Well, the whole story is really about how Rodriguez and his music became kind of the anthem for one of the anthems for the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. And he was a huge hit. I mean, you know, like platinum in South Africa. And you know, so the movie begins with a sort of question, so where did Rodriguez go? And there's all these stories about, well, he died, and you know, he walked off stage and was never heard from again, and so all these kinds of things. And then, but the person who was looking for him found out that he was still alive, and he is still alive. He's in Detroit. They tracked him down and found him, and they told him, did you know that you were like bigger than Elvis Presley in South Africa? So this is like, what, 40 years after the fact. And he had no idea this had happened to him. So they brought him back to South Africa, and you know, packed houses, standing room only, the whole thing. I mean, it's one of these movies that you have to sort of see too, and I'm sorry that I kind of gave away the line, but you really have to see it. I sort of bring this up because in some ways I see this as, excuse this analogy, but it's sort of like healthy housing. Because you know, I really think that this is something in terms of a public health intervention that just makes so much sense. And it has gotten not the recognition that I think it deserves, just because as we search for ways to really improve health of people, you know, where people live, I mean, and they talk about this all the time, but they live in houses, and they stay in houses, and they live in houses. And they spend most of their time in houses. And if we could just make those houses better places to live, which is what healthy housing is really all about, we could in fact have an enormous impact, I think, on the health of the population, and that's why we're invested, you know, because we think that there's an opportunity to you know, to keep on rocking, and one day people are going to know this, and so that's the message I have for you today. So.
When I started in public health in 1973, 1972, I was involved in something called ECHO, Evidence for Community Health Organization. We did work in Flint, and this is before we had zip codes. So for those of you that know, what we had was census tracts. We had no mainframe, nothing but mainframe computers. And we did a series of reports on, and I will read something from this, on health and housing for the city of Flint and the county of Genesee County. We looked at housing, we graded housing, we looked at rodent infestments, we had sanitarians out going around every block, and so I probably know more about this than you do, right? I will just tell you that what we literally talked about was the interface between health and housing. And we did maps, and you can come up and see these books. And how we did them was we took a piece of acetate and we put it over a census tract map. And we looked at an address and we stuck a sticky dot on it. And then we would count the dots. And that's how we figured out what the prevalence was in terms of what was going on. But anyway, so I remembered that. So I wanted to tell you that. But this woman is a very special person, as David said, to this whole field. And I didn't want to get away without giving her my dearest thanks for all that you've done, for not only me, but for everybody here. And this is for you, and you may open it right here in front of everybody.
It's heavy. Fireworks. It's not lead though, right?
No.
So it might be fireworks. Really want Mary Jean to have fireworks? Oh, it's gorgeous. Thank you.
We have, in our community, we have a glass blower. It is a blown piece of glass that is, in fact, a paperweight. Now, I have to tell you, I decided not to pack this. I decided I would carry it so that it would not get broken. No, well, I just want you to know my getting through Detroit security with this, see? Because it ran through the scanner, and then they decided to run it through the scanner again, and it ran through the scanner again, and then they decided that it should be looked at specifically. So they took it over, and they took it to another scanner. And I kept saying, it's a gift, it's a gift. And they opened the box, and they kind of looked at the curly stuff, and then they went over and got one of those like dust testers, you know, that they have. And they put it around the whole thing. And there was no lead, but I looked at it on the screen and I thought, you know, that looks a lot like a small cannonball. So that's what I think. But we just wanted you to know how much we think of you. Would you like to?
So I do want to say a few things. The first thing I want to say is that I am talking into the mic. So,
But I have a really loud voice.
okay. So I want to tell you folks that this has been a really tough year. I mean, I know it's been a tough year for all of you. It's been a tough year for me. I couldn't have made it through it without you. And I'm so appreciative of the support and the love and the consideration and caring that I have felt over the last year. So thank you so much for that. The second thing I want to say is that Rodriguez was actually renovating houses during the time that he was missing from the music scene. And I don't understand. You know, I grew up in Cleveland, which was the next stop from Detroit for the music. And I don't understand why I didn't ever hear about him. And he only sold 6 albums in the United States. The music is glorious. Get the film, see it. And I guess the third thing is that we may not, CDC may not go with you as you go through this next chapter of Healthy Homes, but you're doing it. You're doing a great job. The train has left the station. People are actively engaged across the country. The vocabulary is there. The will is there. The understanding is there. I go to meetings all the time, and people in housing authorities may start the meeting with their, kind of like, oh well, this doesn't apply to my particular multifamily housing unit, but then as they go through the training, and it only takes about 6 or 8 hours, and all of a sudden that person, instead of lying back and like, oh, why did they make me come here, is sitting up straight and saying, whoa, this is something I can do. I know how to do this. I understand. And they go out so energized. And I've seen the same transition with the weatherization people. That, wow, this is great. I can do something that's even bigger than what I set out to do. So every time that you talk to folks and you tell them, here's how you fit in this agenda, you move it forward. And maybe it will take 40 years for that to be recognized. I hope that's not true. But maybe by the time it's recognized, it'll be kind of like lead poisoning. It'll be nearly done. So congratulations to all of you. You know, you're just so amazing, and you go out there and you just do this stuff. So thank you.
Thank you.